Let's be real, shopping online is mostly just clicking add to cart, right? But what if it wasn't? What if you could actually step inside the store from anywhere in the world? Today, we're going to dig into how virtual reality is turning that sci-fi dream into our new, real retail reality. I mean, just picture it for a second. You could walk through that dream kitchen you've been pinning, or test drive a new car, maybe even hike through a national park, all from your living room. And nope, this isn't some futuristic movie scene. This is the future of retail, and believe it or not, it's happening right now. Okay, so what are we really talking about here? The official term is virtual reality retailing, or VRR for short. But to put it simply, think of it as a bridge. It connects the convenience of shopping online with that immersive feeling you get from being in a physical store. It's about stepping inside the product catalog instead of just scrolling through it. Now, while all this feels incredibly cutting edge, super futuristic, the concept of virtual reality has actually been simmering for a surprisingly long time. It really didn't just appear overnight. It's kind of wild when you look at how far back this journey goes. We're talking the 1960s, with these crazy inventions like the Sensorama. Get this, it was a machine with a vibrating seat and even scent emitters. But after that early buzz, VR just kind of became this niche curiosity for decades. The real game changer? That came in 2014 when Facebook acquired Oculus. That single move was the spark that lit the whole commercial fire. And when I say it lit a fire, I mean it led to a full-on financial explosion. That acquisition wasn't just about buying a cool tech company. It was a huge signal to the entire market that virtual reality was finally ready for the big leagues. $2 billion. Back in 2014, that was the number that sent absolute shockwaves through the tech world. That's what Facebook paid for Oculus, a company most of us had never even heard of. It was this massive, audacious bet that almost overnight transformed VR from a gamer's hobby into a serious contender for the future of the internet. And that $2 billion bet wasn't just for a headset company. It was a bet on an entire ecosystem. Almost immediately, analysts and investors started looking to the future, and their projections were just staggering. They predicted the entire VR market would explode to a value of $45 billion by 2025. Suddenly, the race was on. So, inside that massive $45 billion market, where does retail fit in? Well, projections show that by 2025, 32 million people will be using VR specifically for shopping. And that is the crucial takeaway here. The technology's biggest impact might not be in gaming, but in fundamentally changing how every single one of us buys things. Okay, so we've covered the history and the money, but how does this technology actually work? What are the core pieces that come together to create these virtual worlds? Let's break it down. It really just comes down to three things. First, you've got the head-mounted display, the HMD. The source material has this brilliant description, saying they're like snorkeling goggles that block out the real world so you can only see the virtual one. Second, you need a platform to run the content. So, think of a PC, a smart device, or a game console. And finally, you need user input, which is how you interact with the world, either through controllers or just by the system tracking your head movements. And this isn't just theory on a whiteboard. Major brands are already putting these pieces together to create some incredible virtual experiences. Let's take a look at who's leading the charge. And the applications are just so diverse. You've got brands like Sotheby's and IKEA letting you walk through your future home or kitchen. Volvo is putting you in the driver's seat of a virtual car. Even outdoor brands like North Face are using it to transport you to these epic landscapes. From home reno with Lowe's to huge e-commerce sites like Alibaba, VR is showing up everywhere. But for all its amazing potential, using this tech isn't some simple plug-and-play solution. There's one huge challenge that retailers have to overcome to make this whole virtual reality shopping thing a true success. And here it is. It's not just about having the flashiest tech. The real challenge is making the experience easy to use, making sure it feels right for the brand, and most importantly, creating a frank experience. In other words, it has to feel authentic and trustworthy for you, the consumer. If it's clunky or feels fake, it's a fail. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. As all this technology gets more powerful and easier to access, maybe the biggest challenge isn't about better graphics or faster processors at all. Maybe the real mission for virtual retail is just figuring out how to make all that amazing tech feel genuinely human.